everybody. Sorry, I'm trying to uh, get my camera to work. It decided it didn't want to work right now. So give me just a second to try to pull it up again. Yeah, okay. So I had to restart it, so I lost all my settings, but I can move it to where we need to see Scott again. Okay, oops, wrong button. Sorry, had to restart the camera, and now I lost all my settings, so now I'm having to swing it back around to me. There we go, and I'll get the light out of there. Sorry. There we go. They spoke after one or two loud. Hey, everybody. Sorry about all that again. I apologize. I did have it set up, but then when I tried to move the camera around from the track to me, for whatever reason, it decided that it wanted to freeze up. So let's see here. Can you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me, it sounds like I'm talking underwater. Is it maybe because I'm far away from the camera? Racing fuel is at hand for all of them. Let's see if we can get some. There we go. Does that help the sound anybody? Any better? Sorry. If it did, I'll set that as the home spot for Scott. Yes. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's save that position. Oh no. Okay. Well, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. So guess what? Sorry. We get to do it again. See, this is all the stuff you guys. This is you're getting a special behind the scenes look on how to. Oh, that's awesome. How I have to set up the show before I start. Carnegie Hall. Well, it should get a little better now that I got it focused in on me again. And now that I know for some reason it's set at wall on number one, then I'll put this one as preset number 2. Okay, so now the sound should be a little better. And I've got this position saved so that I will be able to swing the camera around and get it set up on the track and show the track to everybody. So sorry again about the technical difficulties. Good thing I started early, apparently. So I hope everybody's week's been going well. Congratulations if you are working still. We made it to hump day. Yay! And I want to thank everybody for showing up for this special Wednesday night testing live. Adam Hurt, the original Adam Hurt, is out of town, so he's unable to do his live show tonight. So I told him I would step in because I know a lot of people look forward to just spend some time chatting with each other and seeing some cool stuff on YouTube on Wednesday nights whenever Adam's showing off cars and running cars around the track. And since I missed the previous Monday because of lack of internet, I thought what better time to get caught up in the little modification series than to go ahead and do that. And as a bonus, I've got a kind of like what I did with Rick's and Matt and Ed's cars. I've got another car that I built for a gentleman, Moondog Michael. And so whenever if I see him in the chat or some point in time, then we'll make sure that we get his car on the track and show him that his build runs better than a factory Mega G Plus. And we'll see if we can get the factory Mega G to where as quick as one of my wall wart package TYCO packages, build up cars can run. So we got a little bit of testing to do tonight. Hey, there he is. Hey, Steph. Sorry, I'm having to scroll up there. It's pretty good. Okay. Steffi, thank you and Mike and the family for showing up, and obviously Bill and Paul and John, obviously. Yeah, so just a little, like I said, I always start the shows off with, just a little casual, see what's going on in the chat, see how everybody's week's been going, see if anybody got anything new or anything good news or whatever. I'll give you an update. I was able to drop off all the motor stuff to Show Me Steve, and he spoke to the machine shop that's going to be doing doing the machine work, and they said 1.5 to 2 weeks, and they'll be able to get started on it. So good news on that front. So the ball's rolling, and things are actually happening. Hey, there's Adam. Thanks for showing up, man. Hope you stay awake in that nice comfy bed while you're watching on the big screen. Hey, there's Andy. He's lurking. There's Daniel. Yeah, yours and your brother's cars went out today. Yes, John, I am. In the penthouse suite. No wonder everything costs more. You're high rolling. How much is your dinner per diem? Yeah, tell him hi and thank you. We always like it when Randy shows up. Love the videos. See the cars getting opened up and released from their coffins. If you haven't seen it, Randy and Daniel got together. They showed off some of the cars that they had purchased, and Daniel actually cut one of that Ferrari that you saw him purchase a couple of weeks ago. He cuts it open and gets it out and runs it on the track. Beautiful looking car. It's cool to see it get out on the coffin and run it. Wasn't on purpose. Work paid, so I won't complain. No, hell no. I wondered why you had such a big TV when you took that picture. I was like, damn, Hilton stepped up their games this last time I was there because they had a little, 20-incher. Wow, 22 people already, man. Like I said, I didn't know so many people were wanting to be bored watching me run cars around the track, but hopefully I'm a little entertaining tonight. We won't be auctioning any cars tonight, so if you're expecting an auction tonight, you need to wait till Saturday night. And then on Saturday night, we'll do our normal 10 subscriber auction cars that go for the channel. And then we'll be doing the bonus 5 that are going to go strictly for Scott's car to help finish off the carburetor and then start on for the new set of headers that I need to buy. So basically, tonight is just testing only. And then as a special auction, Luke with MX69.com is going to send me one of those light up AFX signs that you've seen in a couple of thumbnails from the last few shows. And then Matt with Manchild Motorsports is donating a set of controller holders that we're going to auction off. And 100% of the proceeds from both of those items are going to go to Luke to help him pay for his upcoming surgery. And like I said, that's just one way that I try to help out somebody in the community. And like I said, if everybody, even if you're not interested in buying cars, if you have the time and you'd like to try to help out, that'd be an awesome night to try to check in and show your support, try to win something awesome and support the guys that help support the hobby. Oh yeah, me too, man. Hey, no drama. So I'll catch everybody up to basically where we left off on Monday night in case you missed Monday night's show and you haven't been able to watch. We've got 4 cars that I plan on testing tonight and a bonus car if we have extra time. We'll see. So the first car we're going to run is on the baseline to show everybody is the one that I currently race when the guys come over, the 4 of us that race, and We have the King, that's the crown from Burger King. You get awarded the King of the Night if you win the overall race for the night. And so that's the one that we're trying to do. And then once I get the call buttons all hooked up, then we're actually going to start a season so that every time we get together and race, they'll accumulate points, and then we'll have a points champion. And then the top 3 people are going to race some hopped up TYCOs that I plan on building. So the first car that we're going to be doing tonight is my Shadow, well, they call the Shadow, and it's that dark blue number 2 Mega G Plus that they recently came out with last fall, I believe. And it's got a Viper VSpec chassis underneath it. There's been no other modifications made to the car other than oil, new shoes, and I put a set of albino tires on it. And once again, I want to thank Mark with Mark's Lock Car Garage for that recommendation. Love the tires. And so far, everybody that's driven the car has bought a set of those tires from me. So it was a good investment on my part to buy those so that we didn't have to wait around so nobody could complain I had an unfair advantage. And then, like I mentioned, on the last week's show, the new car that we've got here is the one that I'm calling the Flash. And it's also underneath the Viper VSpec. And the only thing that I did to it after we got done popping it up was putting the albino tires on it after we put it on there. And we got it down to 3.7 seconds, but the body was having a hard time navigating the bank corners because it sat so low. And so one of the modifications that we're going to test tonight is to see if I can, I've modified the front end. I took out some, I cleaned up everything because I was getting ready for tonight. But long story short, I got out some sandpaper, put it on a flat surface, and proceeded to scrub it back and forth. And now I've got the front end just above or below, however you want to look at it, the little front bumper guards that stick out, the little fangs down below. So I've shaved off quite a bit, and I've moved it around the track, and it still sounds like it hits in some spots, but we're going to see if it's enough to make a difference, or if I'm going to need to do more, or if the rails will be able to groove it up enough to where it'll start clearance. And kind of like what happened with the Shadow, I did the same thing to it. And then once I got it close, then where it was hitting in the rails, it eventually grooved itself out. So we're going to try that. And then we have the Shadow's Evil Twin tonight. And in case you missed it, this one is on a Mega G 1.5 series chassis. It was bone stock used when we tested it. And then the fastest I got it to go around the track was 4.80 seconds, and that was with bone stock, factory tires, factory front end, and all I did was add some oil to it. So what I've done for us tonight is I threw some narrow, firmer, Viper, stickier, lower tires on it, and we're going to see what kind of lap time we can get with it that way. And then we're going to try Mark with Mark's Lock Car Garage again. We're going to try his Mega G Plus Extra magnet trick, but this time we're going to try it on a Mega G, and then we're going to see if that makes any difference. And then basically, that's where we're going to pause on this one until I start getting some more hop-up parts for it, because the goal is to see if I can't get this thing to run as close to a VSpec as possible. And right now, we're pretty far away from that, so I don't know if that will be able to be done. And then last but not least, I mentioned that the Moondog reached out and asked me to build him a TYCO. So I built what I call my fastest TYCO wallboard. It used to be called the silver package whenever I could get all the silver parts. But people would just quit making them, and I can't find any more. So the only silver parts on it are the brush springs. But it does have a factory stock arm on it, and it has motor magnets, traction magnets, brushes, brush springs, Wizard dual springs, and ski shoes, razor front end, and a Viper rear end, and a Viper ring pinion here. So we're going to test this bad boy out. If it runs like all the others that I've sold to Rick and some other people that have had me hop them up, it should run somewhere in 4 1s to 4 3s, somewhere in there, which, if you're keeping track, is about on the slow side, a half a second faster than a stock Mega G. So we're going to see if the extra tires pick up enough to be competitive with the hopped up TYCO there. Cool. Just trying to catch up here with the chat a little bit. I'll scroll up. Cool, 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 cool. Oh, hell, Jeremy says. Big fingers, little buttons. Hey, I don't have big fingers, but it still happens to me. There he is. Hey, again. You guys need to go by and check out. He got his little souvenir from the Japan airport, and he had to do some assembly required. But once he got it together, it's a badass looking car. And I'm not going to give it away. You're going to have to go to his channel, watch the video, and check it out. So thanks for sharing that, Kenton. That was awesome. And go by and support Kenton tomorrow night for his Pimping Your Layout. And if you don't want to start your own YouTube channel, there's the perfect chance to grab your cell phone, hit the link that he puts in his chat, and then show off your track, show off your car collection, show off whatever you want to do. It's a really good, cool show. I try to join in when I can. I know enough people see me all the time, but I like to see other people's stuff, so I like watching the show. So stop by and support Kenton. Yep. I was telling Rich that his Ferrari F40 video that he did and tested, that was pretty cool. Like I said, I've been trying to catch up on stuff while I've been like doing invoices and stuff like that, and trying to answer emails. By the way, if you have emailed me, I apologize. I've been putting off emails until I get packages and invoices and stuff like that done. And then with work and then the motor stuff, I'm just running out of time before I decide I need to have some me time before I call it a night around midnight or 1 o'clock. So like Luke, for instance, I apologize. I will get you the pictures of those supports I'm using so that you can put them up on your website, and I'll make sure that everything's nice and clean so they're visible, and I'll try to get some lighting good for you. I know Keith reached out to me. I know several people have reached out. And I do apologize again, guys. And I said it's not intentional. I'm not ignoring you. It is just that I've been really, really busy. So I apologize. Oh, yeah, that definitely has to play with your sleep. Or just play with you, period. So we only got about another 4 more minutes. Hey, Patrick. Sorry if I missed you earlier. Sorry if I missed a lot of people earlier. Like I said, I want to look at the camera instead of looking down here. And I want to apologize to everybody that was here on Monday night. I didn't realize I'd left the camera stuck on myself and the TV screen showing the times. At least you had something to look at better than watching me pull a trigger. So I made a mental note. From now on, before I touch the trigger, I'm going to make sure that the camera is pointed at the track. So this time you guys don't have to watch me, and you can actually watch the car. So my apologies to anybody that put up with that. Cake and ice cream for everyone. Sounds good to me. Well, guys, like I mentioned, if you joined in late, I started a little early because I was having some camera issues, and so I had to restart the camera. And when I did, I lost all the settings that I put in there showing the track. So I'm going to swing it around and get the camera in view or the track in view, focus it in a little bit. And I'm going to use the split screen so I can try to get as much of that in there. And then I'll have another shot that if you guys don't want to see the timing screen where I can actually show the whole track. It's just with StreamYard, it's a 50-50. Or I can do this if you guys want to try it. Let's see, I've got to add that and then do that. Now, what that does is that both screens like they originally are. And in this view, I can actually show the whole track. So while I get the camera moved around so that you guys can see the track on the big screen, bigger version, then you guys can let me know which one you like better. Quickest way to do this. As you can see, I'm casting my computer to my TV so I can see the lap times. And there's a sign that Luke with MX69 is we're going to be auctioning that off this Saturday night. as well as the controller holders from Matt at Manchild Motorsports. So, guys, once again, I haven't had a chance to put all the links in the bottom of this video, but I will. And if you don't want to wait on me to do that, you can look at Monday night's show, and it will have all the links to his eBay store, how to contact Matt. You can support these guys and help them, support what they're trying to do. Help Steve out, buy some rims. Help Keith out, buy some diorama stuff. Help Luke out, buy some stuff. Help him for his surgery, and then Manchild, to get those awesome controller holders. Help him out. Say thank you for making those available for all of us instead of just him hauling for himself. So just a second, I'm working on the camera here. Sorry, it's fussing with me. I figure you guys kind of get the idea. If it's coming at you and going back the other way, that's a bank corner. So I'm just trying to get as much of the other stuff in there. All right, so we'll call that camera shot 3. Oh no, I can't. Camera shot. I guess I can. Yeah, I forgot already. So 2 comes back to me. 1 goes to the wall. 3 goes to the track. You had pizza for dinner? Well, Rich, I'm going to have leftover pizza for dinner, my friend. So cheers. Hope you didn't dunk it in any Coke. Oh, yeah, but I am Blue Oval. We're going to run one TYCO tonight. That's Moondog's car that he asked me to build for him, and it's what I call my maximum wall wart TYCO. So in other words, it's the maximum that I can hop up a TYCO and you have a factory wall wart and it still be able to run on your track. Hey, Daniel, ribeye. Well, yeah, that sounds a whole lot better. Yeah, Brian the Dunker. Ribeye sounds a whole lot better than pizza. Are you leaving, Rich? Is that why you're going out of here? They deliver house whoopings. Nice. Yeah. All right, Rich. I'm sorry, buddy. Enjoy your pizza, man. All right, so let's get this party started. So I've got the shadow on the track, and if you see my hand there pointing at in the screen, and I'm going to clear out the time that I was running, so we'll get a baseline off of the shadow. All right. So I ran, I was waiting until I got to what I normally run whenever we're running here at the track on, whenever the guys are here. So I normally run 350s. And then at some point in time, whenever I'm starting to run the track more, then I eventually get down into the 340s and the occasional hero lap of a 330. Yeah, so that's like I said, that's the Shadow. That's my personal runner that I run on the track, and the only modifications is the albino tires. And then now we're going to run the Flash, and the only modification we've done to him is add those same albino tires, and then I shaved the front end so that it wouldn't scrape when going through my banks. Hopefully you guys will be able to see this one a little easier. And if you guys decide you want to see the whole track and not just half of it and give up looking at the lap times, I can do that too. Just let me know. Well, I can definitely say wholeheartedly that shaving the nose helped a bunch, because if you notice, I actually got it down into the 350s, ran a 354, and then followed it up with a 361. And if you remember what the Shadow was running, that's pretty close to what it was doing right off the bat. And I did that in fewer laps. So yes, Mark, it does. Yeah. As soon as I get to start experimenting again, we'll have a whole series on that. You believe a bone stock extraction on 15 volts? So do you guys want me to switch it to the full screen so you can see? You want to try this view like that so you can see the whole track? You want to try that one? I'm just trying to make a better viewing experience for you guys with the limited, capability of StreamYard. So you guys tell me which way you want to see it, big screen or little smaller screens, but the whole thing. Okay, well, I'll run double looks good. Okay, I was going to say, I kind of like that better too. I can move the camera a little closer to the time. There we go. All right. Well, let me clean the Flash's tires and let's see if I can't run some consistent 350s. And if I get into the 350s 2 or 3 times within a 5-lap period, then we'll put him down, and then we'll start with the Shadow's Evil Twin and start working on the Mega Jeep. Well, I heard I set a new fast lap with it, so obviously the Flash is going to be a worthy backup car. 351 and a 357. Yeah. And a 351.7. All right. Okay, well here, let me switch back to the big one so you guys on your phones. Yeah, if you're on a TV, I'm sure it looks great, but I'm sure if it's on a phone, it'd be really shitty. Pardon my French if it offends anybody. But I'm impressed with the flash, honestly, guys. Shaving that front end and getting it off of the rails through my banks made a huge difference on how I can drive this car. And those albino tires are a huge upgrade compared to the factory tires that come on the VSpec. So if you're looking for a simple upgrade for your Viper, and once again, it holds true. The two things I always tell people whenever you buy a slot car brand new is you're going to need oil and tires, bottom line. And even with a Viper VSpec, that holds true. We picked up some big time right there. So I'm going to write down that we got the old flash down to a 351.7 with the shaved body. And I'm going to mark that as the difference between the 370 that we had before. Can't type either. Oh wow. Yeah, I saw on a side note that Mark's talking about the flood that's going on in Florida. There's certain parts of Florida that tomorrow are supposed to get almost up to a foot of rain. That's insane. Insane in the membrane. So, like I said, I think I've got a worthy backup car right now with the flash. And until I need to modify the shadow, then we're not going to modify the flash anymore. So he's kind of in a holding pattern until I need to add magnets or an independent front end or something like that to make sure that I hold on to my crown. Because as of right now, I'm from the old school where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now, I win with the car the way it is. And yeah, although I have, but I can swing it back around here and show you again. Okay, so the first car we ran tonight was the one that I call my Shadow. This is the one I race in our VSpec class. And the only modifications to this car is oil and the albino Viper tires. And then I just got through testing the flash here, the backup car, in case something happens to that one during race night. I can just pick this one up and keep right on racing. And last week we timed it bone stock, and then we added the albino tires on it, but I'm still having an issue with the front end scraping on my bank corners, and I couldn't go wide open. It was lifting up out of the slot. So as a modification, so that's what we just got through testing. I took the body and a piece of sandpaper on a flat surface, and I literally held my finger right there and I shaved all across the bottom evenly and shaved it all the way up to the little fangs up there on the front bumper area. And just doing that one little trick improved us from a 370 down to a 351.7, which was actually faster than what the Shadow just got through running as some test laps. And the shark attacks, yeah. And then, so yeah, these two are the two that I run in my class, that we run in the Viper VSpec class. And I wanted to back up for the Shadow. This is what I normally run. And so that's why we're building this one up as we build them both up and modifying them as to the rules of our little series here. And then the next car that I wanted to test was the Shadow's Evil Twin. And it's on the very same body as the Shadow, except it's got a Mega G chassis underneath it. And last week, it's a used chassis. It wasn't brand new. I didn't rebuild it. It was just the way I got it. I oiled it, and clean the tires, and we got it down to a 4.80 seconds, which was about 500 quicker than a Mega G Plus chassis with Viper tires and an extra magnet. So as the upgrade for this week, and kind of like the series on tonight's show, since we're going a week ahead, a few days ahead instead of Monday night, tonight I've already added the Viper tires on here. So we're going to see what that does to it, see if we can drop it down below the 480. And then I'm going to throw in an extra traction magnet like we did with I'm going to have the Mega G Plus chassis underneath it and see if we can't get it to handle any better and pick up some time that way. And then to close out tonight's show, then Moondog had requested that I build him a chassis. And so even if he doesn't join in live, you'll be able to watch it later. And we'll be able to throw that thing on there. And like I mentioned, most of those builds run anywhere from a 4.1 to a 4.3. And as of right now, that's about a half a second quicker on my track than a bone stock Mega G. Hey, Ed, there's one of the guys that got one of my chassis. So we're going to throw on the Shadow's Evil Twin. We'll get me off of here. Hey, no problem, Aldo. No, that's what I'm trying to show, just basic hop-ups with certain chassis, and then, you know, how much of an improvement it'll make or what you might be able to expect on your own track. So just to remind everybody, this one's bone stock axles, bone stock everything. The only thing I changed was Viper tires, and I put oil on it. And Monday night, it ran a 4.80. And we're not off to a very good start if it's going to do that. And I can already hear the same issue. Okay. So if you guys can't hear it like I can, when I drop the body down in the rear, obviously it affects the whole car and drops the whole car down. And when it did that, it did exactly what it does with the VSpec with their little narrow front ends, and now it's allowing the front nose to scrape. So I'm going to have to modify that one like I modified the Flash. Because, yep. It's bouncing the nose off of it. So what I'm going to do now, since I want to test it just to see, is I'm going to take the body off and we'll just run the chassis and see what happens. Because I want to see what those tires are. I don't know. The one of the hubs has got a serious wobble in it, and it keeps wanting to de-slop without the body on it now because there's not enough weight to hold it down when it gets to wobbling. So obviously, the Shadow's Evil Twin needs a lot of work. So next Monday night, we're going to put a Razor front end on it. We're going to put a Viper rear end on it, and I am going to shave the nose down. Hey, Mayor. So yeah, there's what's going on is whenever it goes around the track, and I've got a wobbly front end, one of them pressed on straight. Imagine that, and without the body on there to kind of hold the front end down, it's literally bouncing the car out of the slot if I start going too fast. So I'm going to have to modify it just to get it to run semi-good now that I put those other tires on it and dropped it down. I can tell whenever it does go around the flat parts of the track, those lower tires getting those magnets close to the rails help a bunch. Bad part is that I can't get any speed because of the wibbly wobbly So next week, while all I've done is I'm going to upgrade to a Viper Mega G 23 tooth rear end, and with single flange hubs, I believe, maybe double flange, yeah, double flange hubs, 250 diameter, and then I'm going to go with a razor front end like what I have on the Flash, and I have on the Shadow, because this is the Evil Twin. And then that should be enough. But after I shave the nose up here, because there's the other issue. Now that I've dropped it down, it's a high centered on my banks because of the way that is. But once I do those three things, then we'll test it again before we throw in another traction magnet to see how fast we can get it. And then we'll start doing this one slowly but surely. I'll upgrade the brushes, the springs. We'll clean up the comm. Give it a good tear down and rebuild, new shoes, new shoe springs, and see what we can do with this bad boy. And I'll see if I can find some Mega G motor magnets that would be comparable to what the Vipers are, and see what we can find there. So it looks like, yeah, we got about 20 minutes. So I'm going to throw on Moondog's chassis, and this is a, well, like I said, one of my TYCO builds. I used to call it my silver package. Now there's just silver springs in the brush springs in there. So I just call it my maxed out TYCO wall work. And so it's got a factory arm in it. It's got level 4 motor magnets, level 8 traction magnets, got a Viper rear end, 723 with the pinion, double flange hubs, and razor front end. And I got Wizard dual shoe springs, I think 10,000s shoe springs, and then ski shoes on the bottom. And then I've got 80/20 brushes with 9,000 brush springs that are 100% silver from Wizard. And this thing should, like I said, I did some testing with it, but that was before I had the timer up, and it seemed to run like my others did. So we're going to find out if I get embarrassed on live TV or live YouTube. Hopefully, this car should run anywhere from a 4.1 or quicker, hopefully. But a 4.1 to a 4.3 is what I shoot for before I send these off. And let's see if we can get her done. See if it works. So if it doesn't work, I'm going to get embarrassed. Cool. All right, it didn't make me a liar. Oh yeah, that'll really help. Oh yeah, but anything less than that, then I have to start worrying about really watching myself. Like I said, I like to make an easy to drive fast car. So if it's a little, I'd rather go over magnet than under magnet, just so it's more enjoyable to drive. But I understand what you're saying. So Moondog, I didn't see you in here, but if you have been in here, I apologize for missing you. But you got you a badass little runner. What I see there, yeah, 414 back to back. At 416, it started it off, and in the 420. So this runs right with all of the ones I've built before, right in the good range. So, 4.1 second with a stock arm, that's pretty good. Obviously, way faster than a Mega G Plus. The 485 was as fast as we got a Mega G Plus. So a full 7/10 of a second quicker. Oh yeah, it would. But like I said, not as easy to drive. Got to throw some cars on the actual lawn like a redneck. Yes, less traction. Yeah. Oh, like I said, I'm all about that easy button, Mark. I don't like getting out of my comfy chair. So I'm just glad to see that thing ran fairly decent because I'd have been really embarrassed if it didn't run what I said it was going to run before you guys got to see it. So, yay, Scott! That makes my heart feel better, like a whole lot. You guys don't understand how nerve wracking that is doing lap times. Excuse me. Doing lap times on live YouTube is hard enough anyway, let alone throwing a chassis that you built and you're telling people how fast it should run and not knowing and doing it for the first time. That was kind of scary. That was kind of scary. We might have had a 2-hour show and Scott having to rebuild Moondog's car to make sure it ran that fast. Yeah. Oh no, Mark, I call it the live YouTube curse. Rich knows about it. Anybody that's gone live knows that even before you're going live, you can play around, you can make sure your track's all good, your cars are hauling ass, you're screaming, man. And then you turn on that camera, you start talking to people, you start seeing that there's like 30 or 40 or 50 more people watching you. And then all of a sudden you become a little more self-conscious. I don't want to wreck my car and look like a jackass all the time. So I'm going to go slower. Oh, cool, man. John, I've been trying to win one of those since I found out what they were and how rare they are. And unfortunately, every time I find one, everybody wants a small organ or appendage for them. Yeah, I was sweating it, no drama. No, that's no lie. If you guys don't think I'm telling the truth, try it sometime. Mark will tell you. Rich will tell you. It's a whole other ball game when you're by yourself and you're doing stuff. So we do have a little bit of extra time because even though I started early, I'm going to go ahead and go until a quarter after. I've been working on kind of like what Mark was just mentioning there. Less traction magnet equals faster car, but it also means harder to drive around flat corners. And like I said, I'm lazy. I like the easy button, so I prefer an over magnet traction car than a lighter one that's a little faster. Just because I don't want to have to worry about flying off the track all the time if I'm trying to really push it. So I've been experimenting again, and since Ed's here, which is kind of cool, I've been trying to experiment with getting a TYCO chassis set up right with a stock style front end on it. And since I had such good luck with Ed's car, I thought I'd try some things on one of mine. Just by putting the timer on, yeah. Exactly, Mike, yeah. You have 8 of those, John? Wow, buddy. You've got a small fortune there. Yeah, no, yeah, we all think we haul ass until we look up and see the timer, and then you realize how slow you are if you know your average lap time. So I've got some experimental magnets in here that I found that somebody was selling. They're re-zapped. Basically, they tried to re-energize factory magnets and make them as strong as they could do them. However you do that with magnets, I don't know. And then they put in some level 4 traction magnet. I got some level 4 traction magnets in there, like what Mark was talking about. So, and this one has one of my hopped up arms on it and a dyed chassis that I bought. So it's got a lot of stock stuff on it. And I'm trying to see, you know, like I said, it's all about cost for going fast in my book. So I'm just trying to see how fast I can make cars, make them fun to drive without spending a lot of money. So I'm trying to work my way down off of the expensive parts and trying to find substitutes that work maybe not as good, but good enough for the lap times that I'm looking to try to get out of my cars. So $18. Nice. You were going to say how many there? Well, I haven't had dinner yet, so I can suck in my belly and you guys can't tell. So I'm going to swing the camera around, and that way you guys can look at the camera with the track and not at me again. Like I said, I apologize for anybody that showed up Monday night and watched Scott pulling this trigger and saw the lap times. Let's see what this experimental magnet chassis TYCO will do. All right. I say my little experimental chassis runs all right. Yeah, that's rezap motor magnets, level 4 traction magnets, and then a rear end, and then front end, and then those are factory brushes, factory brush springs, factory shoes. You can't even see it going around that outer bank. Yeah, you really have to be here in person. I've tried watching it on the video, Mark, and yeah, it's really hard to see that, just a bare chassis flying around. So I'm going to try. I'm going to get out my old gauze meter, and we're going to gauze those magnets and see where they come up with, and see if they're like a level 4 or somewhere around in there, because that's about like what this thing's running like. Because this has one of my hopped up, or one of the super hot stock arms, as Wizard used to call them. So it's actually running slower than it should with those magnets, so I can tell it doesn't have as much oomph, but it does run pretty good. Now you know how we feel, Mark. Yes, exactly. I can't see this thing. So like I said, it's one of my, I bought some dyed chassis from a guy, and then I put one of my arms in it. Those are some rezap magnets for motor magnets, level 4 traction magnets, and then a rear end, and some Viper wide M series tires, and then a front hub assembly that I made, and those are gel claw front tires. Oh, that's a good idea, Vortex. Yeah. See, there's another thing I want to test, Mayor, is because like when I sell cars, you know, when I hop up cars for people, I know that Wizard, and I know that Viper, and those places that sell magnet Jag, those are buying magnets that they know that are going to last at least for a certain length of time. Rezap magnets, I think there's a reason why you have to rezap them, is because they probably lose their strength over time. But we'll find out. Like I said, I'm curious to see what these things pull, and I'll try to see if I can get the gauze meter to read, so you guys can see it on camera, and then I'll gauze the level 4 Viper motor magnets, and then I'll do a set of the level 8 motor magnets. You can rezap them. Okay. Hey, John, have a good night, buddy. Yeah, you should be able to rezap them, Mayor. And how they do that and who does it and how they do it, I have no idea. All I know is I'm pretty impressed that it ran that well. I mean, I got into the 340s, and that's pretty good. Polymer and Neo don't need a reason. Okay, cool. Is that's probably why everybody went to the neodymium or whatever type magnets. Makes sense. Less hassle. So here, I'm going to get rid of the timer. So there we go. So the TYCO set the fast time for the night. TYCO for the win. So I'll recap and run down in case somebody missed what was going on. Last week, I took a bone stock Mega G Plus chassis. This is the chassis coming underneath this car. We tested it. It was so bad, I couldn't even keep it on the track for any speed at all because of the wobbly tire on it. It has a really bad wobbly hub, and but I still went ahead and put some Viper tires on it. I put thanks again to Mark's Slot Car Garage. He found out that just adding another factory magnet on top of another one gave you about another 50% more gauge reading for downforce, which is a cool thing. And we'll quit that focusing on me. And then we got it down to a 4.85 seconds. It drove like a whole new car when we dropped the rear end, got the tires down closer, got the magnets closer to the rails, and adding that extra traction magnet, it picked up, like over 4 3/4 seconds, just because I could actually drive it around the track because the extra magnet strength and lower tires were actually holding it on the track, even though it had that wobbly hub. So we got that one down to a 4.85, and then we swapped over to a brand new Viper VSpec, stuck it underneath the new body. I've nicknamed this one the Flash. So we tested it with the stock Viper tires. It was running okay, don't get me wrong. But then we slapped on the albinos, and we got it down to a 3.7 second lap time. But the front end was scraping real bad because I had lowered the car down some more, and it was preventing me from going wide open through my bank corners and actually lifting the nose of the car up if I tried to go wide open through my banks. So that was a very limited run. So fast forward from Monday night to tonight, I actually took the body off. I've scraped it. We actually got it to run quicker than the Shadow. So my backup car ran quicker than my normal racing car tonight. So we're pretty much at a stalemate until the guys that I race with start beating me, and then I'll start upgrading this one. And when I upgrade this one, then I'll show you the difference that it makes on this car. And that's what we're doing, is we're showing the time difference of each individual part as we add it. And then basically when we're all done, I'll add up the cost of the chassis, all the parts that were put into it, and then you guys can make up your mind if you think that putting in that kind of money into a chassis was worth it. And I can tell you right now that the tires are a definite investment. You cannot go wrong with buying a $4 or $5 set of tires, whatever those things are, and then adding some oil. Those two things right there shows you can make a pretty decent V-spec. And then as a little side build, so to speak, is so people can see, I don't only do TYCO, I do AFX. There's really not that much to do on a Mega G Plus, except I could add a Razor front end to it. I could add a Hardin Creek or a Viper rear end to it. But other than that, you're pretty much stuck. So I could true it up and maybe pick up another couple of tenths. But you're where you're at, no more hopping up. So then I grabbed a Mega G 1.5 series chassis, and with bone stock, it was used, but bone stock with that very same body, I got it to run a 4.80 second lap time. And then, unbeknownst to me, I should have thought about it before I even did the show tonight, but it didn't even dawn on me. So I put on the same set of lowering tires and from Viper that I did on the Mega G Plus chassis. Both sets are the same. And then it dropped the whole chassis down so much that now this one's nose is hitting and lifting it up out of the groove because I've got a wobbly hub, and so I can't go wide open. So next Monday, we're going to focus on upgrading the Mega G. So I'm going to change the rear end, the pinion gear, and I'm going to put a razor front end on it. I'm going to put new brush springs, not brush springs, new pickup shoe springs, new pickup shoes, and then we're going to see how much of an improvement that gets once we get the nose done. See what times we get, and then that's where I'm going to blow it up. I'm going to tear this thing all the way down to where it's just a stator, and then we're going to see what we can do to hop this bad boy up. And the goal is to try to get it as run as good as these guys. And then, as you guys saw, I can make a TYCO run that quick with a different arm, but with a factory arm, this one still runs quicker than a factory Mega G Plus with those little tricks, or even a Mega G to this point with those tricks. So if you're wanting to hop up a TYCO, I've got a pretty good formula that'll work for anybody that you got to see firsthand that would outrun either one of those, Mega G or Mega G Plus car, factory with tires and a back traction magnet. So hit it with your purse. Oh yeah, independent front end too. We're going to test that one. We're going to test the difference on. I've already got the independent front end, like Mark mentioned. So we're going to test a razor front end, which is a locked front end, and then we're going to see what kind of lap times we get with that. And then I'll swap it over for an independent front end, which makes the front tires spin at different rates, and we'll see how much of a difference time pickup that is to see if it's worth double the price, because that's basically what you're looking at. A razor front end is going to cost you about $5. If you go independent, it's going to cost you around $10. So we're going to see if that extra $5 is worth the time on the track too. So use a hammer and Loctite. Yeah, no, that's wrong show, Adam. That's on Friday night. That's what's Rich's slot carving. Does anybody have any questions on any of the stuff that you've seen tonight, on any of the hop-ups? Like I said, I've been trying to make it better for you guys, a better viewing experience until I get to working with the OBS software where I can control the size of the picture-in-picture. And like I said, I'm trying to do it step by step and give times, and then that way we know each improvement, what it did. And then, like I said, at the end, I can give a parts list, how much it costs, and then we can see how much time difference we picked up. Sorry, I'm just catching up with the chat. And that brings me to another idea. Mark, you just made me think of it. I'm going to reach out to Steve and see if I can't put a set of his custom rims on the Evil Twin on the Mega G. See if he's got something that'll work out for that. And then put that independent front end on there and shave some more weight. That'd be cool. Because I love his rims on, like on your car, for instance. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Live chat versus top chat. Oh, sorry. Get the magnesium ones. Yeah, whenever you said those things were feather light, that really piqued my interest. Super light. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Well, you know, like I do, buddy. Weight is everything on something this small. So just little itty bitty grams make a difference. And so that's why I was really wanting to test the one of my Delrun front ends and see how fast I could get something like with a factory front end on it. Because I know I can make them fast with a razor front end. I want to see if I can make them fast with a heavier, less staying on the track conducive, wider front end with those bigger hubs, because it just raises your center of gravity. And I've got some thinner tires I'm going to try to put on there and stuff too. But it's just, where do you draw the line on saying cost is too much versus just making it easy and just doing it? All right, guys. Well, I didn't even see what we peaked out tonight. Like I said, I know normally go live on Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights is usually a slow night on YouTube because it's a church night, and I'm not trying to offend anybody that went to church, but I don't go to church, and since Adam wasn't on, and I wanted to take his, have a place so we could do something. I'm glad that everybody got to see me not fail with Moondog's car, because that would have been slightly embarrassing. And then we'd have had to part two of Scott building that car again. But thankfully, I don't have to because it ran as good, or probably going to run better by the time it breaks in than one of those cars on average usually run on my track. So we got to see the Flash catch up to the Shadow. We got to see the Evil Twin had the same problems as the Flash. And so next Monday night is part of the hop-up series. Since we already know where the Flash and the Shadow are, we're going to focus on the Mega G chassis, and we're going to start with those upgrades on that. Like I mentioned, the Viper rear end, the Viper ring gear and pinion, like I said, the Racer front end. I'll put new shoes, new shoe springs on it, and then we'll see what kind of lap times we can get out of that bad boy that way. And I'll also shave the front end down like I did with the Flash and with the Shadow. So, like I said, the goal is to see if we can get this bad boy to run as quick as a VSpec, and that would be kind of cool. So if people are diehard little tinkers and they got a Mega T chassis, then I can try to blaze a trail for us and see what kind of, parts you're going to need in order to get the same body car to run on the same track with the same speed. So I think it's a pretty cool little series. If you guys got some ideas on some pop-ups that you want to see, please leave them in the comments. Reach out to me. If you email me, it's going to be a longer response than if you text me or leave a comment. I apologize again for that. But everybody be sure and have a good rest of your week. Check out Kenton tomorrow night at Slot Cars and HO Trains with the old Pimp Your Layout. Check out Rich's Slot Car Room. I know he's going to be back from getting pizza and cold snacks. And check him out on Friday night, cold snacks and slot cars. And then on Saturday night, we're going to have our Slot Car Saturday Night Live with the special auction with Luke's special sign from MX69, Matt with Manchild Motorsports, custom controller holders, and then we'll have the standard 10-car subscriber auction as well as a 5-car personal auction for Scott's Mustang to try to help get that running a little quicker than if I was having to just rely on the old every other week paycheck from the employer. So thank you, everybody that showed up tonight. Thank you, everybody that watches later, because 2 or 3 times more people watch these shows after they're done than they'd actually watch live. But I do appreciate the people that do take the time to watch them live and participate in the comments and stuff like that, because that's the reason why I do this stuff instead of just doing straight videos, because I like the interaction, and I hope you guys do too. So if you got comments, suggestions, please let me know. Please support all those other channels. Reach out there to any of us if you have some questions. We're all happy to help. This is a great community. Get out there, light some sparks, smell some plastic, guys. Don't work too hard this week. Get a controller in your hand, put a smile on your face. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.